Hi, guys, and welcome to another edition of the Coronavirus Diaries. Today, I have my guest from all the way from LA. His name is Taylor Francis. And so, Taylor, can you please introduce yourself, give a little background on what you're doing there?
Thank you, Ravi. So I've been in LA now 3 years. I'm originally from Minnesota, which is where I met Ravi, and I've just been trying to deal with the coronavirus like everybody else has been, trying to continue my life in some way, shape, or form. But it's been a learning experience for sure.
What do you think is like the most challenging part so far?
I think probably the most challenging part is remaining motivated to keep doing things. A lot of the times I want to do work that other people want me to do. It's nice to feel like you're wanted and somebody is asking you to do something, but all of the instruction about do this, do that has gone away. So now it's just me doing things purely based on what I want to do. And it's hard when you're just doing things based on what you want to do to not, just spend the whole time watching Netflix or something along those lines.
Okay. And then I guess, so can you kind of describe me like the atmosphere in LA currently right now? What kind of pretty much what kind of experience you've had with other people? Kind of
Well,
describe me that.
it's like it's a little cold but understanding in some ways. I've found it really weird. Like, you're not going to transmit coronavirus because you said hi to someone. But yet, when I see people like walking in the hallway of my apartment or something, they like freeze. And it's just like eye standoff where you're like looking at them and they're nice. You can tell that they're nice. They're trying to be nice, but they're like unsure of how to interact. So we're in this interim period where people are like, don't know whether to say hi and whether to like acknowledge the fact that there's a coronavirus going around or anything. And that's to me like one of the weirdest things. um, the city as a whole, I mean, there's substantially less traffic, which is nice. I mean, I've just been going out and going on drives sometimes because I need to get out of the apartment, and I know a lot of friends who are doing that. But most of the I went to the grocery store yesterday, which was the first time I'd been in 3 weeks, and it was most of the items were in stock, but some were limited. We live in a heavily Hispanic area, and there were no tortillas left, but most of the rest of the food was in stock.
Clearly, you're not like busy right now. How do you kind of fill up your time?
Okay, so I've tried to like put myself on some type of schedule because I need something to do. Um, so I've been doing embroidery, which is kind of fun, just as an art hobby. I do a little bit of work still for my boss, but most of that is kind of slow now. Like, it's been slow to get people to respond to emails. Um, I've also been learning a lot of Chinese. So I've been trying to learn Chinese, and I've been doing maybe an hour or two of Duolingo, which is a language learning app every day. And that's been amazing. Otherwise, I sleep and Netflix and try to fill the time. I go on a
Nice.
lot of walks too.
Nice. So I know you said before we started this, you just graduated from like law school,
Hmm.
and now you're kind of stuck because you had like jobs coming in, but now obviously kind of stopped. Can you kind of walk me through that? Like what happened?
Yeah, so that situation is really hard because I graduated in May. I took my bar exam in July. I failed my bar exam the first time, so I had to take it again in February, and I won't get my results from the February test until May. And I can't really work as a lawyer before I get my full results. And while there's a lot of work for people who are lawyers right now, there's not a lot of work for like people who are underneath lawyers at the moment, because lawyers are considered an essential service, but a lot of the lawyer support staff isn't, and end up not, so a lot of the jobs I've been doing, which are basically like law clerking or interning, have kind of gone away. And it's, I mean, this period is always a waiting time, because for anybody who graduates law school and takes the bar exam, it's always a waiting time. But the fact that everybody else is waiting with me, it suddenly feels like, because I've been doing this since May, I've been mostly staying at home, mostly doing self-motivated things since May when I graduated. So I feel like I've got a kind of system, and now everybody else is joining me in this like collective staying at home and doing very little. So
Nice. And then, so I know you kind of mentioned like the human interaction with your neighbors. Can you maybe give like a example or story, like another example or story?
well, yeah, like, so yesterday I was walking down the hall, and this man had just come out of the laundry room, and he like backs up and walks the other direction away from me so that we didn't have to walk past each other. And it's really odd, because it's like that seems like the right thing to do, but it just feels very weird. Another or like, well, so LA, we've done a lot of hiking, and at first the city said hiking is okay, so people went out and went on hikes, and it was very busy at a lot of the trails. And so they've now stopped most hiking. But on the hiking trail, there were just people that would like look at you and kind of go off to the side. And I'm lucky enough that I had a mask, but just wearing a mask makes people more afraid of you, even though it shouldn't. It is protecting them from you. So,
Right.
oh, another thing, like,
Yep.
oh, go ahead. So both my boyfriend and I think we had it, because I don't know if you saw his post and some of my posts about that or not.
No, I did not see it. Please, yeah, just continue.
Yeah, so we think we were one of the first people that ever had it. We tried very hard to get a test. We were on the phone 6 hours a day for 2 or 3 days in a row, and it was we couldn't do it. We The symptoms were very much like the symptoms of what's been described.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always had a lot of like pneumonia and asthma issues. And so like I'm very familiar with like how pneumonia and allergies and things affect my lungs. But
Mm-hmm.
this is something totally different that I've never felt before. And yeah.
Wow. So actually, that's kind of interesting you bring that up because I also my brother and his fiance they thought they had it too, and they were trying to get tests, but clearly because it's like overflow, they didn't have that. Like
Yeah.
they didn't get the chance to do that. So I'm kind of. So are you still kind of waiting on the result, or did you ever get a chance
We
to?
no, we never could. And now I'm fine. I've been fine for a week or more, so I don't think I would test positive.
Hmm. Interesting. Um. So what? So what do you think in the future, like people can do, to kind of hopefully kind of
Well,
overcome this?
I mean, I think it has to be taken seriously from the very beginning, from the very top levels of government, but also by people at the very bottom. Like, I go to the grocery store and I see a bunch of people not wearing masks and acting like business as usual. And it's like, it's not business as usual. And you are going to get affected if you keep doing that. So I think that's part of it. But, like, one reassuring thing I've felt is that people are using this as an opportunity to learn. Like I've seen a lot of my friends and everybody who's trying to understand diseases, and they're trying to understand the statistics behind diseases, and they're really trying to like learn about this. And so I think it's, from that perspective, it can be a good thing. And like knowing about it is the best way to prevent it.
That's a really good positive outlook there. Yeah, I've also kind of noticed that as well. So Taylor, is there anything else you kind of want to add that you haven't kind of already discussed yet?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that this is yes, it's an awful thing that happened, but I also see a lot of people that think that this is an opportunity to point out some of the flaws in the system that we've set up. And it brings up a lot of those flaws. It brings, we don't, when everything is going fine, it's really easy to think, oh, we've got the greatest system, everything's moving along. But when something like this happens, it makes us stop and reconsider and say, hey, we are good, but we can do better. But when things are good, we don't have any incentive to do that. So I really think that this is an opportunity, if we take it, to say, let's do things better. But unfortunately, I think a lot of what we're seeing is not people doing things better. We're seeing people do things worse. So
That's a good point. Yeah. Why do you think that? Um,
well, because they're stressed and they don't know what to do. But then the real like cleaning up happens at the end when lawyers get involved and people sue one another, and then it's going to be
that's when you get your job,
will
right?
get yeah. The bad people will get their what's coming to them
Right.
eventually.
Right. Very good point. Well, Taylor, I want to say thank you for lately joining me, kind of sharing your thoughts about it. So until then, guys, please like, subscribe, share this video. Until next time, see you later.